legislature legalized unverifiable voting in 2000.
Like you said to Trump, but they're getting beauty.
They said, go out there and rob these houses and bring back the bounty, and then that'll pay your way.
Because Republicans who get endorsements from Georgia carry that they mean anything.
You can't sit on the sidelines any longer. You must get involved in the game. This is your sign. Alrighty. Good evening, everybody. This is a special secret episode from Small Town Underground at the Studio 3. And as you can see, I've got a very special guest with me tonight, Antonio Jones from Gwinnett War Room. So this is pretty much just something we cooked up today. Antonio was going to be helping out with Lucretia because she's been stuck in Texas. And so it all kind of fell through. So we was like, hey, let's do something. So
let's have fun.
It's a snow day, man. Anything can happen. So how you doing, Antonio?
Man, pretty good, man. Cold outside. The kids took the kids out early this morning. We built the snowman. I should have sent you a picture of it, but I'll post it in the comments of the link once we get done with the show. But pretty good day so far. Lit the fireplace this morning. 2025 is starting to be an interesting year.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we'll get into that. Let you tee everything up for the show, but how's your day been going, man?
It's good. It's good. I woke up and beautiful snow on the ground, and I think we got somewhere along the lines about 4 or 5 inches, and so I was able to get the old Jeep out and take her for a spin. I just wanted to try out the roads, see how everything was. So, obviously, disclaimer, guys, the Jeep was built for this. I got posi traction, 4-wheel drive, so she was itching to get out there, and we did, and drove around to the office, drove around town, and nothing was open but an AutoZone. Actually, one dude, man, he came to work, drove his big Dodge Durango to work, and so I was able to get in there and get me some new windshield wipers for the old Jeep. So had a good time, slipped a little bit sliding, but tomorrow's gonna be the real mess. So
yeah. Probably gonna end up icing over. It's gonna probably be a lot of residual. At temperature drops, it might be a mess.
Saw some pictures out of Atlanta too. Just not, don't see the snow pictures, or maybe I hadn't seen them in a while from Atlanta. Atlanta got a pretty good bit of snow, so I bet it's interesting in Atlanta tonight. And most people ain't used to just sitting at home.
No doubt. Remember that? Yeah, no, people used to getting up, going. People got stuck.
Oh, yes.
On the highway, and it was like, some people was like, man, I had to walk for miles. My car was literally stuck on the interstate.
That was pretty wild, man. I would hate to be in there.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. All right, so Trump got sentenced today. I don't know where you want to start.
I apologize to anybody watching Rumble. I didn't get to update the title. I'll go back and update it. This is not the live test from the other night. This is the snowmageddon. We're calling this one Georgia Snowmageddon 25. So I love that. But yeah, and also, guys, there's we've got a call in tonight because I thought it'd be kind of fun to let people call in. So I got the number up there. So if you want to be a part of the show, I got my phone open and ready to go. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about this. So sure.
What's that phone number? I'm gonna type it in.
Okay.
I got it.
It's 423-661-6752. And
423
661
423. Give me that again.
6752.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and somebody got one comment from True
right.
Stalker says seem to have connection reception issue. So I'm sorry, maybe something's getting. rolling up here, but hey, everything's looking good on our end. So we're going to try to roll. This is actually the first test of this in the new studio. So
Roy, how did you get to those comments? Do you have to click?
yeah,
click it?
I have to click over. I don't have them
Right.
integrated. So let's see here. What is this?
Okay.
Says your bitrate settings out of recommendation for X. Okay, please set the value to less than 4,000. I might have to. Let's see if I can fix that real quick. So why don't you start while I'm working on that and tell me. Let's talk about the sentencing today.
Okay, so Judge Merchant went ahead and sentenced Trump. He had a real opportunity to just show how brave and bold he was, but there was really technically no penalty. So his daughter works for a Democrat, some Democrat operatives or whatever, or getting donations, and I know he donated to the Democrat Party. I can't remember if he donated directly to Joe Biden or what happened during that, but it just goes to show you if he was really some big time felon in all of this, they would have gave him a fine or something. But this was all for optics. And my theory of the case, and Roy, you can jump in here on this, is they needed something else for the media to be able to chew on, because the mainstream media is dead. And that's why me and Roy right now in small town, we sitting up here at what is it? Friday, January 10th, 2025, it's 8:47 p.m. And instead of sitting on the couch having a warm cup of, whatever we gonna have, cappuccino by the fireplace, talking about our goals and stuff for the year, we had to invest our money, put these podcasts together so we can help get the truth out here.
Right.
And they had an opportunity to really say, hey, we got him this time. We're going to send him to Rikers Island. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. But they didn't do any of it.
Right.
They was just looking for something else to inject into the news cycle to get people watching, because nobody really technically pays attention to the mainstream media. What's your thoughts, Roy?
No, I agree with you 100% on that. And we're going back to the 10th now. And Lisa, let us know that you can hear us. I changed some of the bit rates and stuff, and hopefully, if this bombs on one of the platforms, we'll repost it. Just let me know that you can hear us good. Yeah, we're on Facebook.
And we on Facebook
It looks
too, Roy?
like it's going through just fine, and I
Okay.
haven't shared it to any groups yet. So if feel free to share it all around. Feel free to call. But yeah, let's get back to the sentencing. So this whole thing, we obviously know is complete political lawfare, right? And it's absolutely crazy that they went ahead on to try to so they say finish the case, right? But really, what they're trying to do is they're trying to paint the narrative for Trump, of course, so that they can call him a felon in every single news media cycle, and every time that they refer to him in a newspaper or an article, it's always going to be President Trump / convicted felon, and it's lawfare to me at its worst. I mean, it's shameful. It's shameful to see all these other cases falling apart. It's shameful the fact that they were trying to charge him with a felony in this case that could not be named. And yet, no jail time, no anything. They're just going to take what was it they took away from him is something like a discharge or something. I cannot remember.
I don't either.
Exactly.
It was so water weak that it's pathetic, really. And then the Supreme Court had an opportunity. Amy Coney Barrett, Justice, the same usual. They just another embarrassment. They really embarrassing and exposing themselves to really a new set of people. The people who are just coming into the Make America Great Again movement are
Right.
really. It's just the great unmasking.
Mhm.
Roy, we talk about it definitely on a federal level, and we'll get to some things on Georgia later, because there's going to be some masks ripped off or coming off here pretty soon for the ones that haven't already fell off at this point.
I agree. I think a lot of things, a lot of Band-Aids are going to be ripped off in this country. At least that's the hope, right? I mean, we're again waiting on the 20th, this inauguration. We're waiting on this new administration to get in, and where our expectations are that the House, it gets completely cleaned out. and that's
Yeah.
going to mean transparency, accountability, people getting arrested for the crimes that they've committed. And
Yeah.
I'm not holding my breath. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of what we really want, especially at the beginning, because they're throwing the snowballs up against the house. Anything that will stick, they're trying to come out with. So
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And we can also set the frame and probably with confidence, overwhelming confidence, say this is the great reset, like you say all the time. World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, all the stuff Alex Jones has put out and studied for 30 years, and him and just maybe a couple
Mhm.
of other people have been the tip of the spear of what's going on. That's your 15-minute cities, the pushing of the climate change hoax, the collapsing of our financial system, the ruining deindustrialization of modern society, uh, a post-truth um, world, and all of it's going to be your fault at the end of this because you wanted to have a couple of steaks and
yeah,
a little house with a picket fence. No, you're ruining the environment. All the while they say, while they go in and cut down thousands of acres of trees and build these little bitty houses,
hmm
stacked on top of stacked on top of another. And we know that carbon is one of the most highly available um, elements in the
right.
whole universe. So this whole thing is saying, hey, we need to reduce carbon. Well, plants need carbon, and
So do
like,
people. We're
yeah,
carbon based.
we're, co- and that's why you beat me to it. We are actually the carbon that they want to reduce.
That's right. Amen. And that's the bottom line, right? And I don't think we're going to get off into some crazy territory tonight. I was thinking a lot about that. Like let's talk about California for a second. What a crazy tragedy that's going on there. And then all day long today, the news, X is posting videos of people. I saw one video earlier today where a lady was filming somebody who pulls up the hatch on the back of a minivan and just takes like gasoline jugs and starts throwing them into the woods right next to the road where a fire is not too far away. I mean, obviously we know that they've already arrested a couple of homeless individuals for arson, okay? I mean, look, the optics here are horrible. How big this fire is, what it's taking out, the Palisades, Malibu, all of these places. And, I want to remind people that Hollywood is alive and safe because, they just swapped coasts and they moved all the way over here to the great big ATL in Atlanta, Georgia, and they left a bunch of mess in California. They left empty studios and all of their garbage, and so the Hollywood's alive and well as the Hollywood sign burns to the ground. And is one not supposed to think that that partial, part of this has something to do with, people doing it on purpose?
Yeah.
Think about the communist, ethos is burn it all down. The Marxists is burn it down, and then you've got the WEF talking about the Great Reset and 15-minute cities, and what do you think that they're going to do? They're burning the place to the ground. Well, what better way than we're going to bring in the new world order, the 15-minute cities? I mean, that's what it looks like, and
Yeah.
I don't see a whole lot of people arguing, against that point.
They
So,
don't. Well, the globalists, they've said this on many occasions. They kind of view us as animals, and you got the great reset, which is the great replacement, the great migration, the great narrative, all of these things built in. And it is, to your point, California, everywhere that big pharma, big business, and everything, that everywhere big entertainment has gone, Hollywood specifically, in California right now, and they've destroyed
yes.
this place, turned it into a liberal nightmare, and now people have fled. And so, like you said, is it a coincidence that Georgia, has, we didn't want Ford Motor Company, we didn't do enough, in my opinion, to keep them here.
Mm-hmm.
People hate, and I'm not hating on electric vehicles. If you got some extra money, you want to plug up your car at night and charge it up and worry about if it won't work in the snow or not, like we had today, hey, that's up to you. but fossil fuels have been proven to be the best baseload energy.
That's right.
But we have Hollywood here in Georgia now. Okay,
Mhm.
so they ruined California. They have pre-fled. Now they've literally burnt the place down.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna force, they look at us like animals. This is part of the great migration now. They go into parts of and I used to laugh. I tell my wife this. I used to not really laugh, but I used to look at this Discovery Channel and
Mhm.
the Animal Network and stuff and be like, why in the world are they out in the jungle, putting these geo trackers on animals and stuff like that? Well, it all makes sense now. They're trying to see how they respond to different things that happen in their environments. So the people out in California, particularly Hollywood, they destroyed, made that a liberal nightmare. It's been a petri dish of what they want to do all over the country. So Georgia now ends up with Hollywood studios built up, and Georgia's kind of like in my opinion, the best well-rounded state in the Southeast.
Yeah,
So
it's
what not a better place to destroy? So now they've
exactly.
literally set this place on fire,
Mhm.
and now everybody's migrating and being
Exactly.
forced over to the bread basket of the Southeast.
Sure. So let's break this down. Everybody in this country is aware of the Santa Ana winds. Everybody understands the difference. Over here we've got all the humidity. There's no humidity. I've been to California. I have family out there. I've spent a week out there where I barely sweated. Right? You come over here and you're covered. Santa Ana winds. You have these new DEI practices. The fire departments focusing on the race and gender and all these things have nothing to do with firefighters. Tons of stories coming out. They're trying to DEI this whole process at the same time. You talk about tax money, right? They cut $17 million out of the tax fund for firefighters in the state. They sent all kinds of firefighting equipment, right? Surplus equipment to Ukraine of all places. And then all of the reservoirs are pretty much empty. And what the answer, what they could be doing with the water, just like Donald Trump said, so many people said they went to save some 3-inch fish and they rerouted all of this water to God knows where, the sea or whatever else, when they could have found a solution, but the reservoirs were empty. You have this huge conglomerate of things that have been going wrong and wrong and wrong. Not to mention they don't clean the brush out in the woods like they should. None of these things. So, yeah, you want to talk about a perfect storm and then add on to that a perfect opportunity. What is that saying, never let a good opportunity go to waste? Well, if you already know that all these things are going to happen, and let's just say anybody. You got a piece of land and you got to clear it off, right? Well, what are you going to do? You can hire a bulldozer or somebody to come out there and doze it down for you or whatnot. Or let's say it's a bunch of brush. You're going to set it on fire. You're going to clear that out so you can make something, right? It's a perfect scenario. Burn everything down. Who are you affecting? You're not affecting Hollywood, right? Because every one of those studios are probably covered with an insurance policy that me or you could never afford. An empty building that they can claim millions on, right? All of that is moved out. You've got a huge immigration problem. You've got a huge drug problem. You've got nobody can afford to live there. And the people that do are working their tails off. So who is benefiting? Well, obviously Hollywood's benefiting. The state's going to benefit because they're all in 100% for New World Order. And I'm not saying that this is fact. I'm saying if you break all these things down and look at them, it's astounding what you can see. How many years have we been talking about direct energy weapons, lasers, things like that blip on maps? I mean, if you're trying to convince me that this is just something that's completely natural, I mean, you're doing a pretty bad job. So,
Pretty bad. A lot of coincidences happening.
Too many.
Oh, we want to have by 2030, you own nothing and be happy. Oh, we need these 15-minute cities. And I was listening to a podcast earlier, can't remember who it was. And what they were saying is people were thinking in their minds, well, how in the world is this going to happen? People have land, they've been living on it forever. It may have been somebody on Alex's show, but he was just saying, hey, if they want your land, what they're doing right now is it's in your face. They're just going to burn your rear end out.
That's right.
And that's not the terminology he used. But he said they will burn you out.
That's right.
they don't care anymore.
They
And
don't.
how do
They
we
don't.
trust the federal government who paraded around here with along with the news media, who said all of these shots and everything, oh, safe and effective, oh, this and that, and then they turn around and now everybody's had, a lot of them backtracked.
Oh, yeah, big time. Oh yeah.
But we supposed to believe that we had how many burnouts? Well, we had at least 2 burnouts in the country between Maui, right?
Oh my
And
Lord, yeah.
what just happened over here,
And
and then we had this. Go ahead.
we never got anything from Maui, really. I mean, if you dig, but you get just about the same amount of stuff as you would get on the Las Vegas shooter or the Trump in July. We're not getting anything from Maui. It just went cold, and all North Carolina, for example. That's another thing I want to bring up. Joe Biden today come out and pledged 100% support for California for the wildfires. Okay, that's fine and great. What did they pledge for North Carolina, for Western Tennessee, or excuse me, East Tennessee, North Carolina? What did we do? We literally took we sent FEMA back up to Washington. Like, it's insane to me how you can just pick and choose what disaster you're gonna fully fund, right? It's sickening. Like, the trust issues are insane.
I think he personally just overtly picked the winners and losers with California, which I believe is more of a red state than a Democrat state for many reasons, or whatever the case may be. But hey, it's got a Democrat governor.
Yes.
That's why they want to put the 15-minute city at, and they know that they can get forging forward, in my opinion, quicker with Gavin Newsom out there. This is Nancy Pelosi's nephew. She's a staunch, depraved globalist, and she's right there with him in the state, and they want to see their plans through. But like, how do you convince these depraved mind people that have all these monies, billionaires, that in the process of doing this and depopulating the earth and turning off their resource and everything, that they're going to die too? And like Alex has said on many occasions, that the people probably gonna find you. You'll never make it, because they know it's you. Yeah. It's you that's doing this.
Yeah.
And you've made yourself public enemies. Number one, when you can be adored, and there can be a lot of adulation for you, just like people have for Elon Musk. And Musk is not perfect. There are a couple of issues that people have with him, but he's done more damage, in my opinion, to the globalists, especially by opening up this X platform, so that we can have a lot more free speech than we've had in times past.
Sure. Even Zuckerberg, for example. Zuckerberg is going to be on Rogan tonight, I think. I saw that. Zuckerberg is kowtowed down. We talked about this the other night, and so be it. Because all I'm asking for is a level playing field, right? So where we were -20, I just bring it back up to 0. Bring it back up to a level playing field. I don't need any special favors. Leave the social media alone. Let freedom of speech reign, and let us do our thing. That's all I want to be done. Musk the same way. I'm looking forward to it. Either way, it's a win-win in my book. Even if it's a temporary win, it's still a win. Okay, because I don't know that man. Neither one of those guys nothing. They don't owe me nothing. They ain't my friends. They ain't paying my bills. But we're winning in this like culture battle right now. We've got Donald Trump. We've got pro-America first people, and we just went to the polls and we flipped this whole thing on its side, as it should have been. And to answer your question, I don't know how that you can get to people any longer, because I'm seeing now how, like, these people that don't like Donald Trump, the conservative types or whatever, the people that aren't willing to jump on the MAGA bandwagon and all that, how now they're starting to exacerbate everything. If there's something minor that Trump has done, then they want to go back and, oh, you MAGA people. Look, man, I never even considered myself a MAGA person, as far as I am, but it's not something that I use as a shield. Like, I've always been this way. I was with the man from the beginning for what he stands for. So, but you're still, like, how do you get to those people? How do you get to these people that live on completely different planes of existence, right? I mean, how does Anderson Cooper get up on CNN? He gets paid nearly $1 million a month plus to lie incessantly. And that stupid interview that he did with Gavin Newsom the other day, where they were talking to Gavin about, Well, how come the water reservoirs? What could go wrong here? Oh, the people are going to figure that out. Never mind that I'm the governor and I should be figuring this out. But let the people figure it out. How these people can sleep at night lying so much and is beyond me. So either they're just completely brainwashed or they're just fully aware and they're just doing it for the paycheck, I guess. I don't know.
Well, could be the paycheck. Remember, we did a podcast. It's probably been some months ago now, and you were basically breaking it down on a segment that we had you on. You was basically saying sometimes they go in with they meaning politicians go in well intended, and when they get in there, they you get tapped on the shoulder and they say, hey, this is how it's gonna be. This is how it's gonna happen. This is what you're gonna do if you're gonna survive.
Right.
In this business, you have people that they take that pill,
Sure.
or you have people like the Colton Moores and the Charlie's Birds of the world, as far as in Georgia, that say, hey, I'm not going down that path with you. I'm gonna declare myself your opposition if you're not constitutionalist, if you're not pro God, family, in country right now. That's how it's gonna be.
There's no money in that, Antonio. Just being a regular person, like working a job, raising a family. There's no money in that. You've got to be divested all over the system. You've got to be viable. There is no money in truth telling and stuff. What did Alex Jones always say? Follow the money, right? Well, usually, if you follow the money in I'd say 99% of the situations, you're going to find the answer somewhere. And I don't want to take away from anybody. I love money like anybody else. This wonderful fiat fake currency that we use, and I like to have things, and I want a better life. But if I have to sell my soul out for anything other, then count me out. I'll just stay right here where I'm at and keep rolling because I can sleep at night. So,
yep, that's right. Well, people have to make choices, and we're talking about some of the things that need to happen. Is we've got the opening day for the legislative session. So if you guys are watching this, make sure you come in, let your voices be peacefully and patriotically heard. Try to develop them questions. Don't be afraid to what their response are going to be. Give them an opportunity to explain to you why they still want to have these voting machines. And like and spoken out. We see, and maybe I'm tuned out.
You're
Tell
good.
me, Roy. But I don't see the legislator to go down. We calling a press conference and we want to talk about, hey, there's been a lot of people been very outraged, in particularly about the election integrity here. And with them, we're going to do absolutely everything we can do. We're going to put pressure on leadership to do the right thing. And here's how we're going to get. Hey, I haven't seen it, Roy, but I see a lot of patriots showing up, sacrificing their time, and
right.
money to try to get things done.
I do.
So,
yeah. I'm not publicly gonna go. I'm not publicly gonna to talk about this certain situation, but let me just explain that. And this is something. Let me fix my chair here. There's something that I knew was going to happen, but there was a situation close to me that involved politics, right? And there was certain things that were needed to be done and certain people that could have gotten involved, right? And so all of these grievances were, sent up the chain to the places they needed to be. And I was just being filled in on what's going on because I have nothing to do with the situation. However, we're monitoring it. And I told these people that don't hold your breath and expect an answer or help from this certain sector of this place. And found out today that's exactly what happened. These people, they didn't have any real interest in it. They didn't have any personal gain from it. And where they should have been picking up some of these pieces to help the same groups, they just let it fall to the wayside. And now everybody's shrugging their shoulders going, well, I guess we're just gonna have to accept it. It's the same song and dance. How you talk about the Patriots showing up. It's hard sometimes to believe in some of our institutions and our organizations when you actually need help. It's a self-serving, place. If you need help, that people just aren't willing to stick their neck out, or maybe this is a pretty big deal to me. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, but they should have got some help and they didn't. So now it's just, this is the status quo. We're going to leave it like it is. Nobody can do anything about it. And I'm like, how are we supposed to function in politics if we aren't helping each other and backing each other up and trying to do the right thing and trying to get people involved that can help, right? I've said it so many times. We're at a constitutional crisis in this story, whether it be in this country, whether it be election integrity, a lot of these verdicts that come down. Trump is a perfect example, but where are all of our constitutional lawyers at? Where are our lawyers that are supposed to be steadfast in protecting the actual Constitution, the actual rights, the right to the organization, right? I guess if it just doesn't affect them personally, they don't want to get involved. And it's sad to see that, as hard as people on the ground work. So,
well, some of them have made the choice to not get involved because, I give it to you like this. It sounds like this to me when person don't want to get involved because they don't want the pressure. I don't want to lose my job working as the bartender inside of the Titanic.
mhm.
So if I go down and say, hey, captain, hey, people that are driving this ship, leadership on this ship, hey, we got a couple holes, down here, and I think you need to, take a couple of minutes, let your second guy in charge drive for a couple seconds. Let's come down here, let's get the people rallied up, and let's do what we need to do to get these. Now, nobody wants to do anything hard.
Mhm.
And even a low level, I want to say low level, but people that are looking to climb the ladder in politics is a whole nother issue we probably could spend an hour on,
Right.
because now they don't want to tick their superior off or nudge on them and say, hey, hey, let me tell you something, or let me ask you something. Hey, what's going on here? You're supposed to be, we expected you to be a little bit more vocal about these issues that are going on. It matters. Look at the way Trump moves. This guy,
Yeah.
like a machine. He
Hey,
talks about, he cares about every single thing that goes
mhm.
on.
Well, look what he did. He called for Gavin Newsom's resignation, right? And the media went wild over it. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's called. And then you start seeing the clips of Gavin Newsom on the news and the things that are coming out of this evil trash mouth of his. And you're like, really? Did he call that wrong? Because you guys already recalled this fool once and couldn't get rid of him. But yeah, I have to agree. Like, Trump was right on point. That might hurt some feelings, but the man needs to go. But sorry about that.
We don't. It's like we're afraid to do that
Mm-hmm.
in the state of Georgia.
Oh yeah. Well,
And
some of us ain't.
yeah, some of us ain't. And the heat, the gas is about to be turned up.
Oh
And
man.
I'm personally not looking around the corner to see who I can pick at.
Yeah.
Me and you have never had a conversation that said we want to be the next Tucker Carlson.
Nope.
Matter of fact,
No.
I would like to become obsolete with what we doing. Hey, it's a couple of few other people.
Yeah.
I think they've taken the charge. Roy, let's put. I'm getting ready to auction off this equipment
There you
and go
go.
and do this over here. But
That's right.
I don't see us doing that no time soon. We have had to step into the fold and become the media,
That's right.
and we need people with strategy too. And I know I'm
Mhm.
jumping around because a lot of people in the movement, to make Georgia great again, conservative movement, they think that the next person need to be operating just like they operate. If this person is over here is too quiet, somebody's mad. If this person
Ooh.
over here is too loud, this person's mad.
Guess
And
what? Hang on one second. We had a call coming in.
okay,
All right. But yeah,
so
go ahead and finish that.
yeah, if basically everybody needs to learn that everybody does not operate in the same manner.
Hang on, Nick.
If we do that,
Okay.
then we won't have any diverse actions to try to achieve the same goal.
That's
You know,
right.
on a basketball team, you got different guys to play different positions. Football, everything. Everybody don't do the same thing, but we got to have a respect for the next person and get to know people.
That's right.
And if they're really pushing that sled in the
Mm-hmm.
same direction, they might be a quiet person that's working on the inside because we need that too.
That's right. All right, man. Hey, guess what? We got our first call of the night, which is Nick Ware. Welcome to Small Town Underground. Nick, how are you?
Doing great, Roy. Good
Wonderful.
evening, Anthony.
Yes.
Antonio.
Hey, what's happening?
Yeah.
What you got on your
So
mind, man?
you guys are talking about, the globalists, Californians and all the elite people and stuff. I posted, the Timothy verse in scripture where it's for the love of money is the root of all evil. And
Yeah.
Amen.
it's a heart thing, right? So that's a heart thing. That scripture talks about for the love of. It doesn't say money's evil. It says for the love of.
That's true.
And that's what you have in a lot of these situations. And then to go to what you guys were just talking about with people like yourself, Antonio, myself, where we are engaging in this arena with being these watchdogs on our government, that's a heart thing too, but it's not money.
That's right.
That our heart's in it to do it, to be there, to be those watchmen and to report and to tell others what's going on locally, state, federal, and
That's right.
giving them the information because there's so much trust because of the good intentions that these politicians have, like you guys said, that go in there. Well, good, they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions,
That's
but
right.
to have it to where these people are held accountable so that then those relationships with the people stay intact for what they
Absolutely.
set out to do. you know?
Yeah, Antonio, this is Nick Ware. He does the CSI, Catoosa. Is it concern? Say it again. You say
That's citizen sharing information.
that's right. It's out of Catoosa
Okay.
County up here. He has done all kinds of awesome media locally there in Catoosa County. So a good guy, very good content. We worked with him before, so he's one of us. So, well, what do you
Yeah.
think, Nick? I mean, what do you think moving into 2025? Then, I mean, you think we've got a shot with Trump, and you think that we're going to be able to clean some of this stuff up?
Well, we see a lot of optimism from a lot of people and a lot of different levels of whether it be genre
Think
or
we'll
income
be able
or
to clean
whatever,
some of this stuff up?
whatever level the people are on. Investors are looking at it from an optimistic standpoint. Uh, People that are doing developments, they look at it as an optimistic standpoint. What I really hope to see is I hope to see the wave come back of these small businesses, these small entrepreneurs that want to live their life free in doing and earning for themselves and taking care and taking hold. I was an entrepreneur myself, but COVID and everything else helped shut my business down
Right.
uh, because my clients were in those pinches, right? And the majority of my clients were small firms that I did business with, and some of them had to shut their doors because or get bought out by larger firms.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to see that come back. I think if we see those people come back, those are those independent thinkers, independent mind. They declare their independence by feeding themselves, growing business, which then churns the economy even more. So if we've got that comes down the line, and Trump sees these people as this idea of what needs to happen from the grassroots areas in being able to churn this economy, then we're going to have a fantastic next 4 years. But if he caters to the big corps, Elon's great. He's a big corp.
Yep.
Elon has a lot of ideas, and there's a lot of things that his whole goal is to eventually um, go to Mars, right?
Sure,
That's
and let's not forget
Occupy Mars. You see him wear those shirts all the time, right?
X, right? His original goal, X, everything in one place, right? Banking, you name it, paying your bills. They wants everything to go through X, so let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Of course, right? yeah. So, and you look at it also as he has eventually he will have it to where his oh, what's his internet service called?
Oh,
The
Starlink.
satellites, Starlink.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Starlink.
Eventually, that's gonna push um push the local providers to where the more competition if they can't compete. But now the infrastructure that he has put in, which is wireless, and it still has to be maintained, from those low orbit satellites.
Mm-hmm.
But um, the wire, the pieces, storms are not going to impact that. I mean, things
No,
that
it's the wave of
happen
the
with
future.
transmission lines now,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
that also leads into those smart cities. The smart cities that they're 15-minute smart cities. I had an opportunity last year, I think. Interviewed whenever I was looking to close down and go to work for somebody. Interviewed with a contractor from Microsoft in doing this Internet of Things,
Hmm.
uh, because they're looking at having all of these sensors in all these places to
Mm.
where one of the examples that was given to me is that parking meters and parking agents will be no more. You will have an identifier if you park somewhere, that sensor knows you're there and knows how long you're there for, and then
Sure.
it will bill you. You don't even have to you're being billed for parking.
Sure.
You don't have to scan anything. You don't have to do nothing.
It's just like the toll road. They have
And
that
it's because
technology
the
now.
automation.
Yep. In that
Yeah, yeah,
same
and the
bill,
automation
it'll
that's going
bill
to
you,
be
or it'll bill you, or
in everything.
your a climate
We're going down a
score.
road
You
of
hear?
Hang on a minute. He
technology,
may
and
not be able to hear
it's
you.
going to be hard to
You
embrace it.
probably can. Sorry. Go ahead.
Could you hear Antonio, Nick?
I cannot hear Antonio.
Oh, okay. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know how to
It,
make that work.
yeah, it's all right. It's you probably got him on going in,
Dadgummit.
and he probably could hear you through your actual phone.
He
That's probably
can.
why he can't hear my mic. That's fine.
Can Antonio hear me?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
can hear you. Well, you're going through, but for some reason the call didn't go through. I wonder if I don't know. Let me try something while you're on the phone, Nick. I'm gonna turn this.
Hey, I'm glad to be your guinea pig. You know me, Roy.
Yeah, that didn't work either. Dadgummit. Well,
Okay.
anyway, hey Nick, I appreciate the phone call, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, great show.
Yes.
Like
Thank you.
like hearing you both. Thank you both for what you do. Thank you both for pushing and having the heart to serve your community at the capacity that both of you guys do.
Oh man, y'all are
All
gonna
right.
get tired of us in 2025.
Oh yeah.
All right, Nick, I'm gonna let you go and let him
Have a good
him
evening.
respond so you can hear him. Okay. You wanted
Yeah.
to respond?
Yeah. Those same things that's gonna be tracking you, telling you how long you've been somewhere, be also telling you, hey, you've been at you went and picked up ice cream today. That's a dairy product. You drove a gas car. You sat there too long.
That's right.
So therefore, your social credit score is gonna go down. I don't know if you seen, but Steve Bannon was reporting that Larry Fink is divesting all of his ESG and stuff. I kind of don't believe that. I think that's just a misdirection play. They're still pushing to put. You have to believe what people are doing more so than what they're saying, because
Right.
sometimes it's enough just to just kind of blow and throw us off course
Oh
with
yeah.
things.
Well,
But yeah, they going full throated. I mean, this is the staging for the new world order and everything like that. 15-minute cities, all the sensors and everything that he talked about.
right.
Um,
And the thing about it is, and I ponder this question a lot. You know, you've got to go back in history. The sword, wagons, automobiles. How much of this is a natural evolution? Because once you have electricity, you're not going back. We've been able to do everything, so many things with frequency, electricity. So here we are, this technological revolution, right? And so part of this is natural, right? We've watched things develop and come out for decades and decades, from simple machines to complex to literally you can charge your phone on a little magnet on the desk. But the thing about it is like how much of this is just organic and how much of this is manipulated to the point where okay, we keep talking about depopulation. Well, if we get so much technology that you don't need a meter maid anymore, well, what are you going to do with those people? This
Yeah.
is everything that leads to depopulation. This is what we talk about when we talk about singularity, when we talk about a post-human world, which
so many things from frequency, electricity. So
something's
here
bleeding
we are.
through.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, gotcha.
Might have been me resharing something in the
Gotcha.
audio fed, so I messed that up. But go
No,
ahead.
you're good, man. But you see my point? It's like we have to have a balance, just like nature, the yin and the yang. And right now, there is no balance. Things are coming at us at breakneck speed, and that's exactly the way that those that wish to control this world want it to be. So,
Absolutely. Keep going till you make yourself obsolete. It's kind of like the globalists.
Yeah.
They want to destroy everything, put everybody in poverty, have everybody depend on the system, enslave everybody when we all, it's written in our DNA for a man to be free. So eventually he's going to fight to do that. There's going to be a revolution. Going to go after all the globalists, find them, round them up, and just might be an all-out civil war till there's nothing left.
right.
And that's self-destruction.
Mhm.
We just keep going and going and going and going till eventually we just go off the cliff.
Yep.
It's
And-
kind of what you're saying.
And a good buddy once told me, he's like, what is it? What's the window? So and so's window keeps moving.
Overton window.
Overton window.
Overton window. Yeah.
Exactly. He said, so once we invented electricity, we'll never go back. No matter what happens in this world, no matter what happens at nuclear annihilation, blah, yada, yada, the remaining civilization will try to get electricity back, right? We've surpassed some of these things in the Overton window where there is no going back. And I think if we continue along artificial intelligence on the track it's on, I don't know how, if you're keep making things this advanced as we know it now, right? And we know the governments of the world have way further advanced artificial intelligence. I mean, what do you do when you get to that point of singularity? What do you do when that is a fully sort of autonomous thing that you can't shut down? I mean, there's your evolution. That's a post-human world. I mean, where's the balance here?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Unfortunately, we just keep going and going and going.
I know. We really do.
You know what this all boiled back down to? We don't make it into a scriptural or spiritual conversation, but if you go back to the garden,
Yes.
everyone, and guess what?
It wasn't enough. And
was it?
we're like that in a lot of ways. Look, what are we? We grew up in the too much stuff. What am I trying to say here? Yeah, like we grew up with like everything. We it's like built in our blood to go shopping, man. Like we got to go down to the store. We got to see what new gadgets were. This is the first Christmas I went through where we were going through these stores, which I'm sitting in a place with a bunch of useless crap, right? But I got to looking around at all of these little present kits and all these weird gadgets and trinkets and stuff, and I was looking around thinking, man, like absolutely none of this would do me a bit of good if the power was off and I was out in the woods, like
It's real.
just thrown up at your face.
Just sat back and looked at it and thought about why do we need over
Yeah.
excessive stuff and all of that? It's like
Exactly.
crazy.
So I don't know. Of course, at the same token, now I don't want the government to tell me what I can and can't have. So I'm still free market all the way, but that's an individual
absolutely.
thing.
Absolutely. But just the heart of man's thirst just for more and more and more and more.
That's right. And by the way, the phone line is open if anybody wants to call in.
Yeah.
I want to bring up
423-661-6752, 423-661-6752. Taking the phone call. So you guys call in. Shout out to Sam Carnline. I saw him down in the comments.
Yes.
Shout out to him and Field, Georgians for Truth, all the great work that they do.
Man, those guys are amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I know we're talking about Monday, so I'm hoping, Lord willing, like I've already put in my time. I'm ready to go down. We're all grouping together. So I'm praying tonight that the weather doesn't have a thing to do with Monday, because we're going down to the Capitol and we're gonna rock out down there. I cannot wait.
So if you see me or Roy or me and Roy, make sure you come up to us. He's gonna be filming. I
Yes.
might be holding the camera,
There you go.
taping some of his stuff. Make sure you get to that microphone.
I
Let us
can't
know what
wait.
your concerns are, why you decided to come. Just whatever. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you, I got they, like Sam and Phil and all them guys. They're a special place in my heart. I went down last year for the first time ever. And I've always cared about election integrity, right? Because, good Lord, I mean, who hasn't? But I didn't realize the movement we had going on in the state till I just happened to go down there. I got invited, and it was this great press conference. There was all these people out there, so exciting. And then we're going to walk around this Capitol, and we're going to split up into groups, and we're going door to door. And let me tell you, those people ain't never seen nothing like it before. They thought we were some kind of bought and paid for groups that were coming down there, and we were like, no, man, we just took the day off. It was so much fun, and I'm still working on my questions for Monday, but I cannot wait to go down there and just throw the microphone up, and anybody that's wearing one of them little gray tags and ask them some questions on camera. And I also saved my Georgia voter, my little peach sticker. I'm going to be wearing that Monday, too, just to remind them I'm a Georgia voter.
Without a doubt. And if you guys are watching this, make sure you share the podcast to encourage other people to follow Small Town Underground. Let's post in the comments what would be some of your questions.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You think that we should ask, or you may be asking on.
Yes.
On Monday.
And, I'm going to scan through. There's a ton of them already. But Lisa Adams, lovely to see you. She's going to be down there with us. Jeff Conley, my man, is going to be down there. And so he says, nice hat, Roy. It must be cold in the studio. Well, I can't. I'm not going to disclose on the secret layer. But let's just say it's a little cool in here. It's all right now. But Andy Soha. Good to see you, Andy. Christopher Lee Rayleigh. Awesome. Good to have you in. Dorothy. Man, you see any you want to highlight? Angela Rubino, fighter from Floyd County.
Man, I'm scared to click on it because every time I got this stuff. Let me see. I might have to mute it.
Bill Rainey in the house. Sam Carnline.
I'm gonna click on it.
Calvin's Corner.
Let's do it on.
All right. Yeah, man. Calvin Corner says, bad night for live college football on. Give me a break, Calvin. I'm going to kick him around the rear end when I see him on Tuesday.
Hey, Calvin, man, you got to cut something.
As mad as he gets over Joe Biden, he ought to be right in here watching with us. So. Oh, there we go. Andy got him. Said that's the part of the problem. Too many things diverting the focus of what's real. Amen, Andy. Go get Calvin. We need to straighten him out. He was at the Capitol with us last year, and he knows. Nick Ware. So good to have Nick Ware. Richard Schroeder. Yes. He said, did you see the frowns on the Democrats at Carter's funeral? Yes, I did. Have you seen the video, Antonio, where Barack Obama and Trump they're saying something to each other, and Kamala freaking Harris, man, she like back goes up straight, and you can just see she's just desperately trying to hear what he's saying to Trump, and it's hilarious, absolutely hilarious. But these people are something else.
Oh yeah. They look. They were so sad looking. So it just. Man, how impressive is that? You walk through a room of a bunch of vultures, and probably some in there, probably many of them knew about that assassination attempt and or highly likely shirt on that said "you missed."
Oh my God! You know how epic that would have been. That would have been like one of the most epic memes ever. So think about that. All of those tyrants sitting there from George Bush on down, every one of them sitting there, and you know when Donald Trump walks in that room, you just got to hang your head down. Was it
anybody there any good that served in office under them other regimes? Was Trump basically the best guy in the room? I think he was.
Well, he's the only one that ain't Bob. He ain't bought and paid for. Every single one of them are owned. They are slaves to this system. They're slaves to the globalists, and they know that they've tried everything they could. They couldn't touch him.
Mhm.
It's
That's
a
right.
beautiful thing, man. I said Donald Trump was a punk rock of presidents, and by George, he is. So,
Oh yeah. Oh, Sam Carnline said his dad used to say, "It doesn't rain in the army; it rains on it."
ain't that the truth? Yeah, man. Hey, we love you guys down there. You guys are just can't wait to come down there. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
and hey, I love Marjorie, and I wish Marjorie would have gave a shout out the other day when she was talking about all the work on election integrity. She kind of left out the grassroots, so I ain't throwing no shade at you, Marge, but like you got a lot of good people in this state that are very unrecognized that have really pushed for what we've accomplished so far in this state. And I'm gonna give a special shout out because I don't do nothing but run my mouth and just show up when I can. But these people work tirelessly.
They do,
Richard
man.
Schroeder, Garland Favorito, he's still out there with the videos talking about we got to get rid of Dominion. You know, ain't nobody losing sight of what's going on. We are going to continue this fight, right?
That's right.
We're not accepting the status quo under the gold dome, are we?
We can't do it.
No.
We tried it. We tried to let these people be in charge and do the right things, and we can't. They've proven a lot of many of them that we got to watch them every step of the way.
That's right.
We got to watch them. You know, like you always say, a lot of this is our fault because we just run around in the bread and circus, having a good time, and like your guy, and ain't nothing wrong with watching the game and all that. But
Yeah.
you should know more legislators' name than you know football players at this point.
That's
And
right.
you talking to a football guy, got 2 rings.
Yeah.
You know, I did it, went, saw, and conquered in college football and all of that. But right now, we fighting for our country.
That's right.
And we need everybody to step up, do what they're supposed to do. And I know a lot of people that's probably everybody that's watching this right now is already in the fight, a warrior. So we basically just having some locker room talk right now, you know,
That's
just
right.
talking about what we need to do to forge forward and everything, the things that's going on. So
Yeah, I don't know where Chris Rayleigh is from, but you should go to the Capitol on Monday, Chris, if you're in Georgia, and meet up there. You know, he's got a bunch of good comments. I know he's got is it called the Vaccine Police? I don't know if you know Chris Rayleigh or not. I mean, I've followed his stuff for a while. He's been out in social media and doing stuff, but you should bring a camera down there Monday and let's go to town on these legislatures, get them on film. So
let's do it. Oh, did you see? Excuse me. Where Mel Gibson was on Joe Rogan talking about the ivermectin?
Yeah, well, I watched the clip and I actually started watching the whole show today. I only made it about 40 minutes in before I started getting busy. But,
The stuff about the cancer, man.
Yeah,
I gotta say it's gotta be true. Mel said he had 3 friends, 3 friends that had stage 4 cancer, and with the regimen of the ivermectin,
ivermectin, how do you say it?
Fenbendazole.
Yeah, okay.
Is the name of it. He said all of them, neither one of them have cancer anymore.
Yeah, and they were talking about drinking the liquid, the blue liquid.
Yeah,
can't remember what it was.
They used to use it for dye or something like
for
that.
dye, and they found out that it had all these properties. Look, man, our whole life has been holistic, right? We've gotten everything from the good Lord that's on this planet, and we've done that forever. And we've had snake oil salesman stuff. It wasn't until the Rockefellers and they took over the pharmaceutical industry, and now we call it pharmacology, and now we're on a very strict regimen of we're just going to feed you a bunch of pills. We know that there are things out there that can heal all things, and we know just by changing our eating habits we can heal a lot of our body, right? Yep. We're stuck in this system where we're going to eat these big cheeseburgers every other day. We got to stop.
Yeah, we got to.
I'm so excited about Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
That's right.
You know, bring it, man.
He coming out telling what we do. Hey, let's try to stay away from seed oils and oils that bring a lot of inflammation in your body. If you're listening to this tonight, you know it's very expensive to try to do all organic, but if you can't afford to do that right now, if it's not in your budget, just start and try to build out everything that you're eating. Just let it be organic. Try to stay away from the GMO stuff as often as possible, because a
That's
lot
right.
of it, I would say at least 60 to 70%, 80% of it is what we eat, put in our bodies.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Yeah.
Freaking seed oil. Boy, were we lied to about seed oil. That's
Oh yeah.
insane to me. So,
Yeah.
I was reading about fluoride the other day, how fluoride was really just a kind of a byproduct of another chemical process that they just had heaps and dumps of this stuff laying around, and then they just decided, just like anything else, well, we can put this in toothpaste for teeth. And it's like, are you trying to tell me that that's the only reason you're putting fluoride in the drinking water? Because if that's the only reason you're putting it in the drinking water, I think we could take it out and see what happens, because your kids ain't drinking water when they're playing Call of Duty, okay? They're sipping on a Mountain Dew, for crying out loud. Don't give me that weak argument.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Especially when it's a neurotoxin, right?
yeah, we try to, well, we don't try, but we got the fluoride free toothpaste now. It costs a little bit more money, guys, but
It does.
we anything that's worth having, you got to invest into it. And like I
Yeah.
said, it was a transitional period for me and my family here. And start somewhere.
That's
If
right.
you're listening to this tonight and you just been eating everything, don't read the labels and all that, hey, start somewhere.
That's
Just
right.
start somewhere and know that you have to take charge of your own health.
Mm-hmm.
And we need you healthy,
That's right.
so we can stay out here on the battlefield and be around, and God wants us to be good stewards over everything that we have, and that's including our bodies.
That is right. I'm going to tell you, we started here. It's been 2 months ago now. My wife started making bread, just making bread and using like the best flour she can find with the least amount of ingredients. And we got a mixer, and she makes this bread. I ain't had a regular piece of bread in 2 months because we've been eating this bread. And I told,
Wow.
she's like, what do you think of it? I'm like, are you kidding me? This is the way I want to go. And I don't know. I feel better that I'm not eating like soggy store-bought bread. It's just little things like that. I got myself on unsweet tea. The taste was absolutely horrible until I started making myself drink it. Now I can't stand sweet tea.
Yeah.
All I got to whip is these Diet Mountain Dews. I got to get rid of them, man, and they're addictive and they're horrible for you. But I can't quit them.
Hey, you starting somewhere, Roy. So
I'm trying.
my hats off to you, man. A step at a time. But
Little bit at a time.
at least it's on the desk now, for you. And hey, my thing, I went on a 6-month sugar fast. I don't know if I told you that before, but for 6 months straight, I did not eat pasta, bread, rice, anything that turned into sugar on that level. It was just meat, anything that grew out of the ground, meat and vegetables. I mean,
That is pretty impressive.
that was pretty much it. And it did me pretty good. Also, I'm thinking about doing that maybe for a couple of months this year. I don't know. Probably sooner than later though. But it was a good choice for me, and it really taught me a lot of discipline, too, as well. And, we have to start somewhere. That's with anything we do, and not just our diets and everything. So
I agree.
we have to encourage each other, challenge each other too. Hey man, I'm
Yes.
doing this. You might call me next week and say, hey man, I'm trying to get off this so and so. Join in with me. Let's do 2 weeks. I might just say, hey, yeah, let's do it.
Mm-hmm. You're dang right. It's just like even that. I told you I watched a little bit of Joe Rogan. They were talking about he's had back problems, bad back, and when you got bad parts of your body, man, you don't think straight. You gotta keep a strong mind. You gotta always desire knowledge. You don't just take somebody's word for it. Don't ever take our word for it. You can research anything you see on the show, but like we've got to get ourselves in the best shape we can get in. I'm hoping that part of this transition, this 2025 26, we're going to see a lot of things change for the better. I've already seen articles about like cereal companies that are already starting to take some of these ingredients out. I have a personal friend who's from Belgium, and he tells me, very, very smart guy. He's an engineer, and he says, what the difference between a McDonald's French fries and a Belgian McDonald's French fries are? And I'm like, what? And it's about 26 chemicals. I said, what do you mean? He said, you go to Belgium, there's 3 chemicals. There's potatoes, the whatever you fry them in, and salt. He's like, you come over to America, there's 28 different ingredients, 28 different chemicals that go into your McDonald's French fries. And I'm like, wow, That's the kind of stuff we got to stop and get back from.
Yep. I posted. I don't know if y'all saw it, but I put it on my Antonio Jones page. I went, the other day, the kids want me to barbecue. They like when I barbecue burgers and stuff, so I can get some fries and stuff. So I started reading the back of some of this stuff, and it had some of these seed oils in it. So I decided to pick up some different types of fries. And Sprouts is one store. If you guys have a local Sprouts close to you, they have a lot of good um things with low ingredients,
Right.
organic food with great prices and everything like that. So I found some French fries that only had two ingredients.
Wow.
It was actually the organic potatoes
Right.
and organic avocado and or olive oil is all they use. And the brand is Organic Roots. I don't know if you guys can see this. It may
Yeah,
you
there
see
it
that?
goes.
Okay.
Crystal clear. Yeah.
Yep. So look that up. If you guys
You
like
g-
fries or whatever, and your kids like them, start reading some of the back of these things. We want to turn
Yeah.
the show tonight into a health show, but
Well,
we have a big battle ahead of us, and we need our bodies.
Where do fries come from? A potato. What do you need to do to a potato? You cut it up. What do you do if you're gonna fry up some potatoes in the skillet? You're just gonna cut them up and put them in some, hopefully not seed oil, right?
Yep.
And freaking that's it. And they're the
That's
greatest
it.
thing ever, man. You out
That's
camping
it.
somewhere doing. And here this is a rarity that you're finding French fries are just made out of
Hey,
fries.
20-something ingredients, man. Come on, man. And we talk about these things, man, because this all ties back to big pharma, in the political
That's right.
aspect of what we're doing, because it's all about putting us in a point of desperation
Yeah.
so that they can take advantage of us, and then our quality of life goes downhill, and they don't care.
It's a
It's on
win-win
us.
for them.
That's it. It's a win-win.
Get them
So
sick,
that's right.
get their bodies filled with cancer. Then you can
That's
feed
right.
them a bunch of pills. You can put them
That's
through a
right.
bunch of procedures. They're
Yep.
gonna die anyway, and then you've made all this money off of it.
That's
It's a
it.
sick world. It can
It
be a
is.
sick world, y'all. Ugh.
It is.
All right. So what else you want to cover? We'll go
Let me see.
10, 15 minutes. We could probably go all
All right.
night, but
Yeah, I know we could go long. Let me see if I got something on the list up here. Let me see.
Sharon Holland, good to see you tonight, Sharon.
Okay,
Go ahead.
here's an interesting data statistic. Speaking of the illegals and all of that in the country, probably more than this now on illegals as far as welfare is concerned. I think this is annually, and this doesn't even include the impact on healthcare.
Oh man.
So when I hear them talking about, hey, let's just get rid of the illegals that have committed a crime. Well, the first crime, that all of them are criminals, because the first crime is entering this country illegally.
That's right.
Eventually we would like to see everyone that's here that didn't come over here legally gone. I mean, this has cost us billions of dollars.
Absolutely.
I would say probably even way more than that. Way more than billions, probably trillions at this point, for how long this has been going on. We have put illegals through school. We have paid their health care.
Yeah.
We've paid for food stamps. There have been other like impacts on the roads, just everything.
yes.
We have
Murders.
murders.
Crime.
We have funded this whole thing.
And what
And
do you think they're doing with the immigrants in California right now? I wonder that. I mean,
my wife brought that up today. Well, you know what
makes you
else?
wonder.
I'd like to see any illegal that has came in here and used money on the system and put their kids through our school and there. I like to see them leave with a bill and say, before you can ever apply to come back in the United States, you need to pay this back, this amount of money back that you stole
Sure.
from our people.
Sure. And let's not forget, last 2 years alone, how many illegal immigrants were just let across the border, and we didn't even get fingerprints. We didn't even get information. They don't even know where these people. What about the 80,000 children that could be trafficked in this nation right now? It's insane. It's insane.
And they're gonna have to have food and water and shelter.
That's right.
And if they came over here without a dime, guess who's paying for it, Roy?
Oh, we are. We are big time. We know that. We know about all the debit cards and all the money that's funneled. And Yet again, I keep bringing up the fire, right? So here we are. We got major fires in California. Biden is said we're going to cover every bit of this, but they just sent another $500 million to Ukraine. I mean, when is this going to stop? 10 more days, for crying out loud. And I
So
did see an article today. I saw an article today on my phone. I started reading it. It was about how the prison systems, they're in talks with Donald Trump as we speak. And I can't remember that guy's name that's going to be the border czar off the top of my head.
Tom Holdman.
Holdman, right. I get him and Hegseth. I want to put them together. But they were talking about how they were already having like these major communications with the prisons because the prisons are starting to ramp up now. They're going to redo their ICE programs. They're going to get ready to start apprehending people as they come in and getting ready to ship. So I'm like, this is good. This is good, right? This is exactly what we need. Hopefully it's going on as planned. So
you know what else? What I would like from the federal government is for them to open up a communication line to, if the citizens, just say for instance, hope this won't, it's not the case in Walker County, but it's probably more likely in my county, Gwinnett. If we pull open records requests and we can find that our local government has been using our money knowingly to put up and house and give resources to illegals, that's by way of food stamps and all of that, they should be put on notice and they should be indicted, because this is aiding an invasion,
yes,
and illegals into our country, and this will help put a stop to some of this nonsense.
Oh, I agree. And you're a metro county, so you probably you know as well as I do that if you're a metro county, some of that money's funneling all around there. Absolutely, there ain't no doubt about it.
Yeah. And it should not be allowed any affordable home loan that quote unquote affordable home loan that's written, or Section 8 housing to go to an illegal person. That's our tax money. That's not their money to give
Amen.
for these programs. And I know I'm preaching to the choir right now, but I hope that we have a line of communication to where we can report these things and it can be investigated.
That's right.
Because no more of this nonsense.
No, man, we're treated we're the second class citizens. Everybody gets to operate off the backs of everything that we do, and then if we complain about it, we get told to stay in our lane. If we say something that maybe not be immigration, then you become a racist and you're it's so ridiculous. Nobody's buying this anymore. We've got to change. In Georgia, for crying out loud, I mean, again. Here we go. Georgia, we're going to give you a brand new tax court. We're going to give you the tax exemptions, and you can opt out, but we're going to do all these exemptions and tax. Not one person in this state in the legislature is talking about eliminating taxes, right? $15 to $18 billion surplus in the state of Georgia because it's a place to do business, and Hollywood's here, but yet no one is talking about eliminating any taxes. They want us to pat them on the back because they gave us an easier way to file our tax exemptions. Give me a break. It's ridiculous.
It is. Well, Georgia's #1 place to do business. Right, with you are.
Yes.
I always chuckle when you do the Brian Kemp accent.
I still want to do my little commercial. Good Lord.
So how many people? How many people, H-1B people or violators has Kemp? I know the H-1B and another thing, so I want to mix them too. How many illegals had the governor rode around this big truck?
Yeah,
and rounded up.
Well, you would have thought that when Colton Moore released that video of flying them with the NGOs in the airport, he'd have got that truck and went right on down the airport and said, "Come on, we're gonna go see ICE." But they didn't do that. Instead, they shut it down real quick.
You getting too close, as you say. When you get too close to the fire,
that's right. You
get too close to the fire. You start talking about H-1Bs and
yes.
How do people think that all this New World Order housing and the construction and developments for these 15-minute cities, then you pull up, they've gutted out a historic area and put all this concrete and some weird water fountain or something coming down with like a couple of strips of green spaces in it. I mean, this is like weird utopia these people are building.
Look at H-1B visas. So what was that big debacle over? Well, Elon Musk is talking about bringing people over. They're highly skilled from all these other companies and everything. And essentially, what Musk's point is reigns true to what the original program was about. The problem is that the corporations decided this is a loophole, so that I can bring somebody else in and pay them a third of what I had to pay this person for.
Mhm.
And then the argument is, well, we've got to help out other countries, and when these people are highly skilled and they're being trained to do this and blah, yada, yada. Meanwhile, we look at our own education system, and we see that our education system is so bad that we're not teaching people like life skills. We're not teaching people how to like trade schools and how to be plumbers, electricians, and do things welders with their hands. We're not doing enough of this. Instead, we're focusing on interdimensional, Geneva studies or something like that. And these college educated idiots are coming out. Why aren't we putting more of an emphasis? Why aren't we putting more emphasis on our own people about getting into the tech industry and leading some of these jobs that they're doing in other countries? Because China doesn't have an H-1B problem, do they? They're
They
not
don't.
importing India's finest. But somehow it's always America that's got to do all of these things while we become second-class citizens. Now we suffer because we're leading our kids. What is it right now? The number one, I guess, profession right now in a few articles that the younger kids want to be is social media influencers. They want to sit at home and do nothing,
Big
I would,
creativity.
if it came between this and my work, I would just have to shut this off and go on to work. You know what I'm saying? This
I
is the
would too.
last thing I want to be doing. But
Yeah.
that's our mentality. We've stuck these cell phones in their faces, and we've shortened everybody's attention spans, and nobody wants to learn how to pull a cord on a lawnmower. Nobody
don't.
knows how to use a hammer. And I see this every day as being somebody that works in the maintenance industry. Sometimes somebody calls you because they said they got a broken screw in a piece of machinery, when literally I just come and all I got to do is turn it loose. I'm like, did you not even try? But
Yeah.
that's the mentality, right?
Well, that's
We
the
gotta-
futility. That's the futility. They
Yes.
to your question, they've created the problem in education. So
Right.
they want the cheap labor, the H-1Bs. So the companies here in America, they don't see any benefit in investing in colleges.
Right.
So if they had to get their worker and a skilled worker from these American universities that are coming up through grade schools, things would be different. Because I can guarantee you this, they're not going to be donating millions into a dumpster fire of a college.
That's
They
right.
be putting pressure on legislators and curriculum writers to have good curriculum because it's going to affect their bottom line. But hey,
That's
no. We want you guys to be dumb, so we can say we need these H-1Bs.
Right.
And at the end of all this, I can pay them, maybe 2/3 or maybe just a little above half
Yep.
of what I had to pay you as an American citizen. Oh, and by the way, as you're going broke and losing your house, I can buy up your property, that because you're not gonna be able to afford this.
That's
And
right.
we'll make debt slaves out of the people that have gone to college who can't come out and qualify for this job now
Yep.
because we've helped devalue the education. And like you said, they can't even, walk up a flight of stairs basically.
That's right.
And the people end up losing. And lastly, they want these H-1B workers because they become indentured servants.
That's
And
right.
they'll always hang over their head. Well, you guess you not want to work and do what I say, or you don't want to work all these hours or do anything extra. So maybe we won't help get you a path to citizenship.
That's right.
You don't have
You
any
nailed it.
natural rights because you're not really an American citizen.
Yeah, you nailed it on the head, man. It's a mess. It's such a mess. I don't know where this is going to end, but I hope, and I'm praying just like everything that we're banking on is that this administration comes in and we have one of the best 4-year turnarounds we've ever seen in our life. We fix some of this stuff. That's what they're telling us. They are telling us. So we'll see.
All right. Hey, I'm with it. Let's get involved and do it. Gene will be local.
I agree.
So
So we
That'll
got
be
some good
local.
stuff cooking, and we're gonna get off here in a minute. There's so many comments. We can't read them all tonight, but me and Antonio and several others out there. Originally we were gonna Antonio was gonna host Lucretia, and he asked me if I'd come help. I said sure. That didn't happen, and said why waste the day, But we got a lot of cool things planned. There's a lot of good people out there that are ramping their social medias up and getting into the game as we continue to just break this stuff down. And we're changing the culture. We're changing the narrative as we speak this stuff into existence. So, we're letting them know that it's no longer business as usual. We're going to keep going, and we're going to fix this right along with what we voted for, right?
That's right.
So, Antonio, tell my people where they can find you.
All right. We're on X, Rumble, YouTube, and Facebook. Just look up War Room Gwinnett or the War Room Georgia. We're in the process of trying to rebrand because the podcast is kind of creeping outside of the lines of Georgia, and we starting to get a couple of people from other states that are watching and supporting the podcast. But we want to make sure that we focus on Georgia. So eventually, we're probably going to rebrand to War Room Georgia. But if you guys can get on there, subscribe to the channel, share all of the content here on Small Town Underground. We're trying to put together an alliance now. We are the next wave, the media, but we can't do this without you guys. You are the force multipliers. We need you to share all the content, tell somebody about it, get involved, get active. If you can, like Roy says, hey, if you ain't got a couple of dollars to give, don't give it. Just be a force multiplier. However, if you do got a couple bucks, you can chip in the Small Town Underground. He has his Give, Send, Go link. When you get to the War Room pages, you can look in the bio. If you can chip in $5 or whatever you can do, it will help us because we do have expenses that are associated with just running and operating the equipment and everything that we need. So we appreciate all the support that you guys give us.
Yeah. Well said. Like I said, if you can give, every little bit helps, And we're gonna keep rolling this thing. I can't wait. I'm not gonna spill the beans yet, but we're gonna have a real special episode coming up with a panel soon. We're gonna wait till after the inauguration, but we're gonna come up with a few lists that we're gonna share out, and then we're gonna start rolling this thing forward. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
One more thing,
sure,
guys. This time around, do not expect to be and feel comfortable all the time. We have to challenge each other, be respectful, but we got to challenge each other and these legislators moving forward. We cannot go back to the business as usual. There are going to be some people that are going to be crying bloody murder. Oh, you can't, this person's in a bad position. Hey, what are our goals? What does the Constitution say? That's what we need to go by, and that's what we need to hold people accountable to.
That's right. Well, man, thank you. I loved it. Thanks for spending the Friday evening with me. I hope to have one of our state legislators on Sunday, weather permitting, and if not, I hope to see each and every one of you in Atlanta on Monday. So we're gonna be out. We will see you guys next time.
The legislature legalized unverifiable voting in 2000.
Like you said to Trump, but they're getting beauty.
They said, go out there and rob these houses and bring back the bounty, and then that'll pay your way.
Because Republicans who get endorsement from Georgia carriers that they mean anything.
You can't sit on the sidelines any longer. You must get involved in the game. This is your sign.